That's how I caveman the audio later. So, what was your name?
Charlie.
Charlie.
What's your name?
Ethan.
Ethan. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you too. So, let's see. So, do you think there's such thing as a social construct? Does that exist?
It's very interesting that you mentioned that, actually, because I'm learning about social constructs in my leadership class.
Okay.
And I would definitely say that there is not only a social construct, but there's so many social constructs.
Okay.
Yeah, do you want me to just...
Oh, I just cracked my jaw. That's a bit...
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I was just asking, do you
Yeah.
have any more to say about it?
Yeah.
Or you want me to ask another question?
I mean, I think there's, social constructs. So, like, for example, just to name a few, like, race would be a social construct.
Okay.
And it's a social construct in the capacity, and I'm saying this to explain why I believe social constructs exist. Because, by definition, social construct is socially constructed.
Yeah.
So it's constructed among humans. So a group of humans or an individual created an idea, constructed something to maybe marginalize people, maybe to help people conform, for any goal. It really could be. And also the goal, I would say, is also socially constructed.
Okay.
And so, when we live in a society where...
So that's almost paradoxical, because it's difficult for me to wrap my head around. I want to flesh that out. So the social construct is created by socially constructed reasons.
It's created by society.
Okay.
And what I would say society is like, I guess that's where it's hard to kind of draw the line, because then what is a society? Exactly. And then you can be like, what necessarily is a social construct? Maybe, a social construct maybe is a social construct in itself, but what? Yeah.
So do you think our entire society then seems to be built largely on social constructs?
Yeah.
Are they instrumentally used basically just to sort of gain power over others? Is that the primary use of them?
I would say that they have a very wide variety of uses.
Okay.
And not every social construct has the same use. And it also can be taken, there's people that don't believe in social constructs, there's people that do believe in social constructs, there's people that believe in some social constructs, and some people don't believe in some social constructs.
Yeah.
So I think that, at the end of the day, it is an individual preference.
Yeah.
Of really what is a social construct to you. But I think that as a society, there are communal social constructs that we can all agree upon that like this was constructed by a society.
Yeah.
Whether you can pinpoint that to one person.
And is the reason inevitably power, or are there other reasons, maybe more benevolent reasons, like trying to bind people together for cooperative ways? Or is it always sort of just trying to leverage your social construct over someone else's, so you can make them do what you want them to do? Or is there any benevolent uses of social constructs?
I would say there's definitely certain capacities where there is benevolence.
Okay.
And I think that, that's why it's very hard, because when a social construct comes into birth, it's very hard to tell whether like if it was created by a large group of people, if it was created by an organization, or if it was created by an individual, what their true intention was. You would have to essentially be inside their brain to understand what the true intention of that was.
So how would it be created by an individual? Maybe like someone super, super charismatic that sort of rallies people around them?
So, I mean, I could use like maybe race as an example.
Okay.
In the U.S. specifically, it was used by white slave owners to marginalize essentially what would be African American people.
Yeah.
And so that, I would say, was a group of people coming together and spreading information in that way. So it was an organization that was spreading that. But I also think that society, the way that, just everything exists in society, I refrain from using this, but I almost question, should I say, if naturally social constructs form.
Okay.
If they build upon each other. So potentially there was one original social construct, whatever that was, and this is just purely hypothetical. But if there was one original social construct, and then that was built upon, and other social constructs were created from that. And I don't know how, if that hypothetically exists.
So does that one social construct at the origin of everything, is there a certain reality to that one at least, or is that one sort of by the whim of whoever thought it up, whatever caveman thought it up? Or is there any like actual reality to these social constructs that in a way that they're actually like they're corresponding to a legitimate pattern that reality itself contains?
So like essentially the social constructs really exist?
Yeah, like do they pertain to actual patterns of reality, or are they just based on the whim of whoever wanted them to be?
Whew, that's a big question. And I would say, from my perspective on life, I would say that they sort of, I mean, essentially social constructs and what we're deeming, this is socially constructed and what it affects.
Yeah.
On Earth, you can't neglect that social construct does have practical applications and applications on Earth.
It exerts influence somehow.
Exactly. But I think in a larger reality, what are you necessarily determining exerting influence on things? Like, what is really going on by social constructs? And
my main question is, do they exert influence in a way that is utterly arbitrary to whoever willed them into existence or thought them up? Or is there a way they exert influence that actually pertains to a real pattern of reality? And I'm sorry if I'm throwing a bunch of 10-letter words that are sort of barely fitting together, but you see what I mean?
Yeah. Well, what would you describe a pattern of reality, I guess, was what I would ask.
So a pattern of reality is something that no individual made up, that we all collectively have a relationship with, that isn't just something that somebody thought up one time that was based on some whim or something that's just random. That is something that exists, that we all are in relationship to, that is outside of ourselves. A pattern of reality, right? Not just something that some caveman thought up because he saw a funny looking tree or something.
I would say that, honestly, no social constructs really make sense in any pattern of reality.
Okay.
Because I think humans, we aim to create reality, but that reality it's what we deem our own, but it's not necessarily reality.
Okay.
So I would say no, because humans aren't necessarily, at least in our physical beings, or even in our sentience, are not necessarily reality.
So that's hard for me. So do we explain, like, I guess, and this might have an easy answer, but how do we explain the fact that we both identify this as a microphone?
Yeah. I mean, because society tells you so, and because...
So we're both in the same society?
Yeah, we're both in the same society. We obviously have had different experiences. We may have had some shared experiences, and we may have gained the same knowledge.
Okay.
And so that is what led us to believe that's a microphone. But if potentially there's somebody from a different reality, and this is hypothetical, the same device could potentially exist, but it could be, like, the verbatim of it may be difficult. And see, that's where I get, like, really caught up in, like, that's like math, for instance. Like,
yeah. Doesn't that describe real relationships between quantities of things? Is there something real about that?
Like about
math?
Yeah. But the thing is, it's like what we call 2 or what we call 4. That would be socially constructed.
But the writing itself, but the amount, is that objective? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 things that not related to the physical line, right angle line, of the number 4. Is there something objective about the quantity itself in its essence?
I want to say yes, but then I'm also hesitant.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that I'm hesitant, because I do question how, like, we as humans, we had to discover math. It was a discovery.
Yeah.
And so it's just like,
But yeah, because you can break those 4 things into 8 things, and you still have the same material there. Is that sort of where your mind goes? I don't know.
It's unraveling.
Yeah, it's unraveling. Yeah.
And especially because, like, if you believe in other universes too and that sort of thing as well,
Okay.
knowing that there's different physics
Yeah.
and different universes based
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
which that's getting pretty overarching, I guess. But
Yeah. So, but is there something consistent about the psyche that you use to even ask this question to begin with? That is inextricably consistent? Because it's like, well, I can't ask the question otherwise.
I would say like I think what's consistent is that I am absorbed in this reality,
Yeah.
whether it's real or not.
Okay.
And so for that, it's like what I would say is consistent is my train of thought whenever I get to bridging beyond, like especially in like talking about math in that
Yeah.
capacity. Like bridging beyond, I just can't really conceptualize. Like I can conceptualize past like what we call math and like how you were describing like forward drawing it out, but I can't. Like it's really difficult to talk about because I literally cannot conceptualize it, and I wonder if that's based purely on my life experience and my reality. But I just no, I guess is that what you're asking? If like
Oh, then another question leads like, is there something that governs the way you think that isn't just given to you by culture and society? Like, is there something innate about you that maybe some inner logos that sort of governs the way you think and perceive?
I would say yes, but then it becomes difficult to say that it is not. That it doesn't. It's not at all created by society. Like it has societal influences. At the same time, though, I personally, I'm not a religious person. I'll just put that out there, and I think a lot of people who are religious, they use their religion to guide their values and their internal, maybe their logos for what's deemed moral and not.
Yeah.
Whereas I would not. I still have what I consider to be morals and probably what society would consider to be morals, but it's not necessarily determined by necessarily society or necessarily any establishment. It's just, it feels, and it always has felt to me innate. Like I've just been like that, but at the same time, you don't really know like that you're like, there's a lot of your life you don't remember, and there's a lot of influences in that time you don't remember that you had.
Yeah.
And so based on that, it's like, okay, could I have just been wired by those influences that I don't necessarily remember, but I still did have?
Yeah.
But then it's like, if I don't remember them, do they really exist? I guess that's another thing.
Well, I'm sorry to do this, but I probably have to leave, and I feel like I just unraveled you.
No, it's okay. I've been unraveled before. Like, I get in philosophical discussions
Well, I
too much.
I leave the option open to postulate some inner consistency or underlying consistency where the rubber hits the road with this question. You know,
Yeah.
because or maybe it just goes infinitely down, like a free fall with no bottom, and that's sort of horrifying. So I hope that that's not the case.
Yeah. Do you? I would like to definitely hear what you have to say about this. I'm sure you have a lot, but
Sure.
I appreciate your time.